Okay, so I was running Sanguine Depths today. Oh, by the way, I hope you enjoy Lindsay Sterling because I usually listen to it when I heal these. Um, so I was running Sanguine Depths because I've been phase planting in it on 16s and 15s. And I know it's been some of my healing strats. It's not been the only thing, but my healing strats have been poor. So, I thought I would record it. I know some of you have asked what I do when I heal anyway. And now I can give myself a little bit of a watch here, see how I'm doing, see how my things worked. This one was actually really smooth. It was a plus 11. It went really well. I don't know who any of these people are, but they generally did a nice job. So here you see me. There's nothing really important in this pull. So I'm just adding DPS, adding stuns, and getting a feel for how this group is going to go. Whenever I pug, which is often, I think the most important thing to do on this first pull for me, in almost any instance, is just get a feel for how this group is gonna roll. Who's taking damage, who's not, how's the tank doing, that kind of thing. So here you can see, you'll see me do this often through the instance. I'll throw Earthbind Totem down at the end because of Spiteful. And it just really helps. So that's out of the way, and now we get to the first pull of some consequence. You know, this is fine. I'm using Heal and Stream Cloudburst Totem. I'm not rolling Flame Shocks very well, but that's okay. See that got a bit. People are getting hit by the Mist Dancer there. Yeah. I don't have a Cloudburst down right now, which is probably a mistake. I think that's a habit of mine. When things go poorly, I think the first thing that I forget is Cloudburst Totem. It feels like a future thing, and if things are dire, then I'm not thinking about 15 seconds from now, but I really need to be, because Cloudburst Totem can really clean things up. I really love this song. So I've heard a rumor that those blue things don't actually hurt you if you stand in them. I need to figure that out. I should write that down. What was that thing called? Ugh, some kind of devourer. Anyway, so we're gonna wait for the pat. I'm gonna steal a drink. People can get topped up later. Insatiable Brute. That's what those things are called. Okay. Looks like that other shaman dropped his healing stream totem there for the drink, which is kind of an interesting thing to do. I like that. Alright, so this one, we're kicking and stunning as much as we can, because these guys explode on death based on how many engorged ticks they got off. Let's see. Oh, also if you're watching, see my two target bars there? The top one's my focus target, and the bottom one is my target, and then the blue square is part of my focus macro that... this group has no idea what that blue square means, but when I'm running with my more regular groups, they know I've got that one as best I can. You can't actually get all the kicks on these ticks, but what you can do is what I do here. I remember doing is as soon as I see the cast bar go off, see I'm waiting for the engorged cast bar to drop my stun, and then they'll get one tick off, and then it'll stun all of them, and it counts like it's almost a kick, right? I let that one get off. I don't have Cloudburst down again, which I don't love. I'm also not rolling my Flame Shocks again. So I'm setting up for Pride here. What I really want people to do is notice the blue spot and stand in it before things start. I'm trying to create for my group a spot where we're going to fight the Pride. That one was probably a bit too early, which is, so here we go. I'm going to do it again. Please stand here for Pride. This is where I want people to go. I'm going to drop a Cloudburst Totem, start tracking all the healing, and I'm going to use my Knife A ability. It does DPS, and then it sets that up. Everybody's topped up, right? So if everybody's standing in the blue now, they're going to be getting healed up. My Cloudburst Totem is doing stuff. It's just going to keep people topped up and help me DPS as much as I can on this thing. See, I'm not even doing anything right now. I didn't use a single global cooldown there for like 2 seconds. Which isn't good. But, and then towards the end it doesn't matter anymore. If I know we're about to fight it, everybody's got insane leech, so it's going to go fine. People will top themselves up. Plus I know this boss doesn't do any damage to the group for the first little bit, so it doesn't. So that Cloudburst Totem is going to trigger right after this rush, which is right where I want it. Everybody's topped up, right? So now I'm saving one because I need it for the Severing Smash. So I didn't put it down for a few seconds there because I needed to go off after the Smash. And I wanted to make sure that that was going to be the case. So I'm just setting this all up, getting everything going, and then he died super fast. But
our target lies deep within the prison.
you don't have to panic if you predict damage, right? And if you prevent damage, what you're getting, so a lot in this, there's all these debuffs and kicks and everything's going off. If you're worried about the global cooldown on the kick, think of it this way: you can spend the kick, or you can spend the dispel, or you can heal the damage. But either way, you're using at least one global cooldown, if not more. And the kick, I think, is the most efficient because you got a kick cooldown, you got a dispel cooldown. If you're not using both, you're wasting them. And honestly, if you're doing those things and not healing, you're still doing your job as a healer, right? So I really should have Cloudburst in here. This was one of the things that I was planning on practicing. I don't use enough AoE healing on these pulls, and then I get behind. I forget how much AoE damage they do, because again, with the Rack Souls, you just can't kick and stun them all. It's just not possible. Plus, a few other mobs do AoE damage, and I just don't treat them like that. And I think I remember halfway through that there's a lot of AoE damage on these, but this is one of the things I came here to practice, was these pulls. I've never seen this pulled before. I didn't know what to expect, so here you can see me laying down Healing Rain and stuff like that, because I didn't know what it was going to do. Clearly this tank had a Pride route in mind, but I also really like this song. So I don't love this camera angle, but it's tough in here. I also know there's no paths or anything to watch for if I stay in this general area, so it's not huge, but if you're a shaman watching this, there's a talent that reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 60 seconds. One thing I've been noticing as I watch this, my uptime on Spirit Walker's Grace is actually really good, and I highly recommend that talent. Your biggest, chunkiest heals all require you to be, standing still. So this is another pack there. I remember that there's AoE damage here. And I put down the Cloudburst Totem. I just put it down way late. And the reason I was hugging that corner is because the chains are line of sightable, and I thought I might be too close. So I didn't expect something. I was thought we were a different spot or something. I should have just stayed back here. I don't know what I was doing there. But see, I remember the AoE damage now. So I've got Healing Rain, I've got Cloudburst, I've got my focus target, using it all. Basically everything's on cooldown. I like seeing that. There, line of sight the chains away. Yeah, nobody dispelled me there. I don't know if anybody could, actually. So I didn't kick that last one because I'm waiting for the silence right there. There. My dispel was off cooldown. I knew I had it. It would go off. I'd dispel it. And I knew that the silence was coming up. I probably should have used Healing Tide here. I think the worst thing that happens to healers is we get behind, and then that's when we start forgetting to use Cloudburst, or that's when we get out of place, or that's when we have to decide, do I get hit by that Volcanic, or do I get this heal off because I have to get this heal off? Healing Tide is a pretty rapid cooldown, and I wish I'd used it. So once again, I didn't get this memo, but this pull makes a lot of sense. That Grand Overseer with the chains on the far side of the bridge is really problematic because it's really hard to get away far enough from the chains. If we pull them over here, then the chains can be line of sighted again and moved away. So this made sense to me in hindsight, but I didn't see it coming, and I don't think most of the group did either. So there, I got that silence kick. Now I've got Healing Tide down, which maybe it's a good thing I didn't use it before. Got Cloudburst down, taking in all that Healing Tide. And see the difference in time down there? Like 3 seconds from now, Cloudburst is going to go off too, and it's got all that Healing Tide in it. But of course, nobody was standing near it, so it didn't matter.
All you like, mortals. You only delay the inevitable.
That's a puck problem. People just don't stand in your healing stuff. Like, if you look at my Pride, so there I set up a Pride zone, and literally, I'm the only person standing in it. There we go. The Shadow Priest spent the whole run standing outside of my little Pride zone. I think I hit 2 people with this one, which... whatever. I don't have Cloudburst down again, which I don't love. Oh, you know what? I didn't put it down on purpose because I knew it was almost dead. I remember that too. Weird pull to take Pride into, but oh well. So again, this is another pull I think I always underestimate. I really should have Cloudburst down here. Especially if there's 2 charges on it, there's nothing to lose by using it. There's almost always 2 charges on it. I really should have that down. Usually I use that as a preset AoE heal. Just trying to speed it up here. And I knew there's not a lot of AoE damage coming up now, so I knew that didn't really super matter. This hallway is mostly single target. The scribes throw their books randomly, but the books aren't that bad, and basically everything else is one-shot kill, so AoE heals don't do a lot of good. You think after a whole week of Volcanic I'd be able to avoid them better, but... So once again, I really should have Cloudburst down here. It's a shame I don't. That Priest, I wouldn't need to cast this Healing Surge, probably. Yeah, and see that? Like, now he's running out of line of sight there. I've got to get up and heal him. Cloudburst. Now I've got it down, but what's it going to do now? So there's one coming out of the door that I'm going to use as my focus, because I might as well kick that. If it's a kick or a dispel, I might as well have it ready to do both. Not a lot going on here. So maybe this is a good time to talk about cooldowns. You'll see I'm using Capacitor Totem basically once per pull. I'm using Earthbind Totem once per pull. Healing Stream I'm not, or Cloudburst I'm not using enough. Healing Stream or Healing Tide I probably should use a lot more. I use the Legendary that makes Mana Tide make my Healing Wave cast twice as fast. That's the only time I cast that spell is if Mana Tide's down, otherwise I don't think there's any point to it. And makes Chain Heal cost half mana. That's a nice, it's very situational cooldown, but the times I've been able to use it, I've been really grateful for it. Ascendance is my best cooldown. So that's the only one that I even think about using or not using. But it's a reasonably rapid turnaround. What's it, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? So, really just have to look like 3 pulls ahead in the dungeon, and if I don't think I'll need it for those, I don't have a lot of trouble with popping it. And then SLT, the Spirit Link, right, is the... I don't think I ever used it this whole dungeon, actually. This tank was pretty geared and managed his cooldowns well, and there was really no... people were controlling the damage really well, but Spirit Link is an incredible cooldown that saves your group often. Right, and we missed a doubt, and you saw me just write about it, and got no response, and then sure enough, in 2 minutes we run back for it. So see, once again, set up my thing, got my Cloudburst down, got my Healing Range, probably going to be the next cast. Yep, there it is. Doing the DPS, I use my Knife Fae ability once again. Just keeps everybody topped up. And then once these things are down about 20%, you don't have to heal anymore, right? You just finish it off. And everybody gets to leech and toughs himself up. Depending on what happens next. These Depths Wardens are super dangerous. There's so much, especially this week with Spiteful and Volcanic on top of everything else. If those chains goes off, there's, I think Blessing of Freedom is the only way to dispel them, and people will die. So once again, Capacitor, we get low. You see, I'm thinking about Earthbind. I saw my mouse move over there. I really got to work on using Cloudburst. I'm noticing there. Okay, good. I just don't use it enough. Should really be automatic. So I guess we're going back for ghouls here. We're trying to proc a Pride at a specific spot. I'm not privy to the route in this case, so I don't know what the spot is, but that's the only reason you would pull these. They're really slow and inefficient, do an incredible amount of tank damage, but this tank just eats it, which... So see, I've dropped Earthbind there so that he can get away. They can get away if they want to, and they clearly just don't want to. I don't normally recommend damaging those things, but if we have to wait anyway, might as well. It just takes time. So here the other Shaman and I are ready to fight the boss, but we don't notice that the group is going the other way for that doubt that I mentioned earlier. And apparently one more pull that I've also never seen pulled. So I'm worried about damage there, so I just pre-pop Spirit Walker's Grace. I don't know what's about to happen. Uh, if I had known that they were just going to fight this one doubt, I wouldn't have done that. But I wasn't sure what the plan was here. And so I was like, well, I don't want to be caught too far away and unable to cast because I'm running, so I'll just pop it. Now again, I think this was intentional, but I certainly wasn't warned that we were going to pull that pack and the Gargoyle at the same time. I really don't recommend that. That Gargoyle Frontal Cleave is massive, and if we're running around avoiding things, that cleave is going to hit somebody. And we weren't short on time here. Like 0 deaths, 20 minutes remaining. I don't see a lot of point to taking this risk. So there goes Earthbind again for Shades. But clearly they were ready for it. I mean, that was some of the best DPS of the dungeon in the respect of how quickly those mobs went down. So at least, I would say at least 3 of these people were on the same, were in like Discord or something. Because that was clearly planned and executed incredibly smoothly for how difficult that was.
Let us begin. I will confess.
So we've got a bad Castigate right in the group there, but it's okay. Get that Cloudburst totem down. Come on. Come on, Sass. Cloudburst. 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 There you go. So here I've got to make some choices. I remember this. A bunch of people get hit, so I just randomly dispel the first one I can. There goes Healing Tide. There goes Mana Tide. Right, so I've got Healing Wave, I've got Chain Heal, I've got Mana Tide going, Cloudburst taking it all up. Because you do not want to fall behind on this. And I do not mind using 2 of the smaller cooldowns at the same time there. So there's my Castigate. My defensive is up. I should have used it there. It's a mistake. It's over on the right side. Let's see it. The cooldown button, that is. It's on the right side of my screen. I arrange my buttons by, the bottom one is all like mouse only, but I arrange the buttons based on where they are, whether they're on my mouse or my keypad or my keyboard or whatever else. That's in case you're wondering why they're so disjointed and weird. Again, I'm not using Cloudburst here. I gotta be better at that. You see these dots add up, right? And you can't even kick them because you gotta kick those curses of suppression. So things really start to add up. I don't mind if it's on the tank so much. I'll just heal through that generally, but... Yeah, and here's where this guy informs us of the route he has in mind. It turns out we all did, actually, so... Cool. Recommend always having them on you at this level. Pride timings are just so important that the routes get janky and oftentimes need them. And having a few on you, they're not that expensive. I can also make them if you want. So here we go, Cloudburst. So I'm pretty good at setting prides up, actually, making like a base. So I'm happy about that. I should... Oh, you know what? No, I'm not using my Knife ability because I have plans for it on the boss. But you can see that Shadow Priest way over there for no apparent reason. He's out of Chain Heal range, he's out of healing range, Rain range, he's out of Cloudburst range, which is a really bad place to be. It means I have to spend entire spells just healing that Shadow Priest. See how he spent the whole time really low there.
How dare you interrupt my research?
Okay, so now I am saving stuff. It's only tank damage in here for a while.
My patience is wearing thin.
Now, I'm going to drop the Cloudburst, so it's going to go off about 5 seconds after this cast. I'm setting up my thing. I grabbed 1 and used my cooldown, so that's going to keep me alive. I can stand in the middle, I can use my Night Fae, I can use my Cloudburst, I can use Healing Tide. There we go, we got through it. Right, next time, if it happens again, next time I'm going to use Ascendance. And if it happens more than 2 times, we're screwed. I guess I could probably manage SLT, but people would have to stand in it. But the thing about that is, you don't want people on low life, because it's really easy to make a mistake in that, like, bombardment phase. And, if people are at low life from the thing, from the explosion cast, they can die in that next phase, and then things get problematic, right? So, you really need to plan to get people topped up as fast as you can, even though the whole group takes damage, and then is taking ongoing damage. Sometimes I do that, like there with the healing rain. I know it's not going to do that much, but I at least want the tank to know I know what he's doing. And I want the group to be like, again, base. Train yourself to learn the visual effects of each healer, if you're DPS, and to stand in them as best you can, because, yeah, it's important. And that was another really smooth pull. I mean, that's a hard pull, and that group just did it. And then this is where he wants us to use the invis pots.
None have
The shaman,
escaped the
shaman messed it
depths,
up, but that's okay.
and neither will you.
It's easy to do. He used a pot in the last 5 minutes, so his was still on cooldown, so it's just died. But then the problem is, see, the tank went beyond the halfway point of that bridge, so we need to res him, but we're about to get Gargans on us because the tank started the gauntlet. So we're gonna have to take these Gargans out, and I think the shaman saw it happening. That's why I said yikes, because I think the shaman saw it happening. Because I think that oh no, we got battle res. It's kind of a waste.
Gods, slay them all!
So this is another part I wanted to work on. That last boss was one I wanted to work on. The trash before the second that I seem to think is single target, but it's not. And then just managing my cooldowns through here. Because this is long, right? And shamans have some wonderful cooldowns, the trick to getting through here is to use them properly. And right now, of course, I have none down. I think here I go.
Wretched mortals!
So yeah, just staring down those shades, because they'll die. I'm actually really happy with that move there. that I was okay just standing like inches in front of him.
That prisoner belongs to the master. You will not take it.
So I stunned these guys, forgetting that there was. I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited because I forgot that there's an anima container here, and so there I've got healing wave down. Healing tide. I don't have cloudburst down again. Now see, this was bad, right? I got so far out of defensive, so I guess it's okay. I was running back too far to avoid that shade, and then Gloom Squall happened, and then I took a second to cast, and it's fine. Another thing, if you're a shaman here, you get meleeed a lot in this area, and Water Shield will go off because you're getting meleeed. And if you don't notice it, then you wonder why your mana's gone. That has happened to me more times. I actually think I should probably get like a weak aura for that. I'm gonna actually do that. I'm sick of that happening. So if Water Shield is down, I know it. Because then you're out of mana and then you're useless. So there, I used Healing Tide here. You see me using Chain Heal. Healing Wave, because why not? So always set it up, right?
Stubborn rebels! You will meet your end!
So look at the, oh no, Water Shield. Yeah, Water Shield wasn't there for a second, but I caught it that time. Again, weak aura. So I'm looking down at my cooldowns, and I'm liking what I see so far. As long as I continue to drop Cloudburst, this is good. But I've got my two smaller ones done. I've still got my bigger ones. I know I don't need them on the boss. The boss is probably the easiest part of this dungeon. So if I blow them on trash, I'm cool with it, and it's nice to have them. There I used the big one. Again, it wasn't dire, but but there's a high chance for it to suddenly become dire here. And it's better that it doesn't. Because look at it, I got time to DPS now. Cloudburst, Cloudburst, Cloudburst. I'm gonna put a sticky note on my computer monitor. Cloudburst. Like, I'm using it a lot, but I'm not using it enough. It can be even better. Can get that Cloudburst down. Sass! Come on, man. There it goes. So there's a Pride coming up after this, too, and you don't want to start a Pride at half health. That sucks. So overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with this. You know, this Cloudburst that I need to do better on. There was a couple times I probably should have used Healing Tide and didn't. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, set up the Pride the same way. Healing Rain, Cloudburst. Like, that's just, like, scripted at this point. There's the Knife Pay again, because, again, damage, and then I've got, I think, 10 seconds to use it, right? And if everybody's standing in the blue like they should be, it'll actually hit everybody. Because that's a really short range, but it's really... I mean, don't go Knife if you're a Resto Shaman, but if you do, like, there are ways to use that. I don't jiggle a lot when I play, like, I'm not wasting global cooldowns. I've also been noticing how often I'm casting while moving, which I'm really happy about. So lots to go on. I try to do the blink trick here, but I'm a little bit early. Yeah, he still hits me. I really struggle at the Wicked Rush on this because everything is red. So it's hard to see those red arrows when everything else is red too, but like even we're red here because we've got a pride, right?
Take you all.
Oh, that was I should have known that was coming, but
Plead for your crimes.
it was one of the few mistakes that Tank made this time. He put that bubble down way late.
Impressive.
The guy ended up dying from it.
Will be a
Still, I
testament
do
to the
look forward
master's
to
wrath.
ending your existence. Not today.
So yeah, honestly, that was pretty good. More Cloudburst.
Go, mortals. I will hold
More
you
Healing
off.
Tide. Uh, more Rolling Flame Shocks. But other than that, I'd say that was pretty good.